The U.S. Constitution and the Protection of Non-Citizens, a Legal and Human Rights Perspective. Introduction. The United States Constitution is one of the most robust legal frameworks in the world, designed to uphold justice, fairness, and fundamental freedoms. Although commonly associated with the rights of American citizens, the Constitution also extends significant protections to non-citizens, including undocumented immigrants. These protections ensure that all persons within U.S. jurisdiction are treated fairly and afforded due process. However, historical and modern instances reveal violations of these rights, raising concerns about constitutional and human rights abuses. Constitutional protections for non-citizens. The Constitution uses terms like persons or people rather than citizens in many of its provisions, ensuring that fundamental rights apply to all individuals within U.S. borders. Among these are 1. Due process and equal protection, 5th and 14th Amendments. Non-citizens are entitled to due process under the law and equal protection, meaning they cannot be arbitrarily deprived of life, liberty, or property without fair legal proceedings. 2. Freedom of speech and religion, First Amendment. Non-citizens have the right to free speech, freedom of religion, and freedom of assembly. 3. Protection against unreasonable searches and seizures, Fourth Amendment. Non-citizens are protected from unlawful searches and seizures. 4. Right to a fair trial, Sixth Amendment. Non-citizens, including undocumented immigrants, have the right to legal representation, a fair trial, and an impartial jury in criminal cases. 5. Protection against cruel and unusual punishment, Eighth Amendment. Non-citizens cannot be subjected to excessive bail, fines, or cruel and unusual punishment. Despite these protections, there have been numerous instances where non-citizens' rights have been disregarded, leading to significant human rights concerns. Historical violations. Japanese internment during World War II, 1942 and 1945. During World War II, the U.S. government forcibly relocated and interned approximately 120,000 Japanese Americans, including thousands of non-citizens. This policy was justified under national security concerns, but ultimately became a dark chapter in American history. 1. Constitutional violations. Fifth Amendment. Detained individuals were deprived of liberty without due process. 14th Amendment. The policy was based on racial discrimination, violating equal protection. 4th Amendment. Families were forcibly removed from their homes without probable cause. 2. Human rights concerns. Internment camps had poor living conditions. Families were torn apart, and many lost their homes and businesses. In 1988, the U.S. formally apologized, acknowledging that the internment was based on race prejudice, war hysteria, and a failure of political leadership. Case study: Zadvidas v. Davis, 2001. Indefinite detention of non-citizens. In this landmark Supreme Court case, the government attempted to indefinitely detain non-citizens who could not be deported. 1. Background. Kęstutis Zadvidas, a stateless individual, was ordered deported, but no country would accept him. The government detained him indefinitely. 2. Constitutional issues. The Fifth Amendment's Due Process Clause was cited, arguing that indefinite detention without trial is unconstitutional. 3. Supreme Court ruling. Indefinite detention without a reasonable prospect of removal is unconstitutional. 4. Human rights implications. The ruling was seen as a victory against arbitrary detention, aligning with international human rights protections against unlawful imprisonment. Recent violations. Trump administration policies, 2017, present. During the Trump administration, immigration policies became more restrictive, leading to human rights concerns. 1. Executive Orders on Immigration, 2017. Enhancing Public Safety in the Interior of the United States, January 25, 2017. Expanded categories of undocumented immigrants prioritized for removal. Not increased arrests and deportations, including individuals with minor offenses or long-standing community ties. Human rights concerns, family separations and lack of due process. Travel ban, January 27, 2017. Restricted entry for citizens from 7 predominantly Muslim countries. Human rights concerns led to chaos at airports, detention of travelers with valid visas, and family separations. 1. Key human rights concerns. Family separations. Deportations led to U.S.-born children being separated from non-citizen parents, causing psychological trauma. Due process violations. Expedited removal processes limited legal representation. Discrimination allegations. The travel ban disproportionately affected individuals based on religion and nationality. Conclusion: the ongoing fight for constitutional and human rights. The U.S. Constitution is clear in its protection of all individuals, regardless of citizenship status. However, history and recent events demonstrate that non-citizens' rights are frequently challenged, leading to human rights violations. From the internment of Japanese Americans to the indefinite detention of immigrants and restrictive immigration policies, the fight for constitutional protections remains an ongoing battle. Upholding these rights is not just a legal necessity, but a moral imperative to ensure justice and equality for all within the nation's borders.